So I'm here today to talk about mycloudcoach, but first I was watching a documentary and I heard this told to me and I paused it and rewinded it. I thought that was quite impactful. So it's like an analogy, it's an old story from Indian scriptures. So there's this blind man who's heading towards a well, and then there's a guy who's watching. So if the blind man falls into the well, who gets the blame? Is it the blind man? Or is it the guy who's watching? It's just something to think about. So, hi again. Thank yous out the way. Thank you to PNE for giving us this platform to spread the mycloudcoach movement. Really awesome. I'm Christopher Nutman. No one's ever done this before. There, put the link in the PowerPoint. So this is me, and I'm the founder of mycloudcoach. And I wanted to kind of tell you where it all started, really. Why did I get into this? And it was because I was passionate about ideas, really. And I would like to think not just any ideas, what really gets me going is ideas that could change the world. And I'm not gonna be shy about that. So I'm gonna take you back 3 years ago, and no one's ever seen this picture before. So this is me in my student kitchen in Manchester that turned into basically a spray booth. That's me spray painting on the projector, which my housemates weren't too happy about with the smell. So where did I learn to become a design engineer? In Manchester. I spent 3 years there, and it was honestly, anytime anyone asks me about moving away for university, I just say do it. It's the best experience I've had. So spent 3 years down at Manchester, had an amazing time, and that was all through education. So this day I would call one of the best days of my life, and that's true. Graduating, the hard work, I never really tried in education until my third year. I thought, okay, it's up to me now. Actually, no one's going to do this, and I wanted to tell my granddad that I got a first, really. And that's what I did, and it was probably the proudest moment in my life. So yeah, that's me, graduating. So if I was to sum up my final year in one word, it would be grateful, because of the opportunities, the friends I've met, the experiences I've had through education. So in our final year as design engineers, the brief was choose a subject area, find a problem, and design a solution. And listen, click there. So I chose education in the developing world, which is a very interesting topic to delve into, and you find a lot of shocking things in this area. So I did my whole dissertation project on this, and what I found was one of the main statistics is 15% of the world's adult population are illiterate. And that's over 1 billion people in 2019 who can't read or write. That means they've never read a book, they've never written a journal, never wrote a note, passed it to a friend, and of course never sent a text message. Imagine life without sending text messages. So I asked why is this? What is preventing these people from receiving a quality education? And it turns out there's numerous barriers. It's very prescriptive, this isn't it? So there's numerous barriers to education. And one of the most significant is lack of resources. For example, in Cameroon, one textbook is shared between 12 children, which is not a feasible way to learn. I remember when I was at school, if I had to share between my partner or me, one between two, let's say, that was like, I have to share this book. You felt begrudged, you know, right? So what we currently do as human beings to try and solve this problem is there's organisations which are amazing, like Books to Africa, who go into schools, box up textbooks, and put them in a shipping container like you see here, and ship them to Africa. And they've actually donated, just the other month they announced on Twitter, they've donated over 1 million textbooks, which is quite phenomenal. However, the problem with this is the shipment can take up to 6 months to get there. And it's very costly because books are heavy. And the condition of them when they arrive, well, especially in hotter climates, they usually become worn, they tend to come off the spine, etc. So that's why we're creating a new method of charitable aid, which is the donation of digital educational documents. So this is a brand new, I often think, I don't know how anyone hasn't thought of it, because if you donate physical textbooks, why can't you donate digital? It's like emulating everything, kind of the evolution of everything in the world. If you think money in paper form, now contactless card, logbooks, record keeping, Excel spreadsheets. Everything's gone paper-based, to digital, apart from the donation of educational material. So we're creating this, and we're going to allow teachers, educators, those with valuable content, to contribute those resources to our digital platform. This is the design model of what the digital platform will look like, which is currently being built. So teachers will upload, or people with content will upload or donate their valuable learning resources, and they'll be stored, organised and verified and made available for those in need. And we're calling this social movement Donate-a-Doc, so hashtag Donate-a-Doc, hopefully to scale this, to make this go global, because why not? So I wanted to give you a closer look into mycloudcoach. So this is something I don't really speak about or shout about, which is probably my favourite thing about the digital platform. But as I say, I don't really tell anyone because I think it's a really good idea and I don't want anyone to steal it. So I thought this was meant when I put it on. So this is actually like a live screenshot of the digital platform that the developer is building. And so we've got Donate-a-Doc, but then we've also come up with another arm of like kind of the proposal, which is Request-a-Doc. So if you see here, Discover is where you'll see all of the documents that are being donated, but Request is where a really unique thing. If you think like a crowdfunding, someone posts a project. So what we're going to allow teachers in the development world to do is post a project. So she's going to have a project photo, her name, and a bio, so a bit about the teacher, so people are going to buy into that teacher, you know what I mean? They're going to say, okay, so she's in Malawi, this is a picture of a class, she's got no resources, so there's an emotional connection there. And this is what the card's essentially going to look like. So we're going to have a bit about the teacher, and then we're going to have a project name, and it's going to be sorted into category, language, ages, and then there's also going to be a project deadline. And on crowdfunding, they normally have like a percentage, like completion or total amount funded of the goal. But we thought we don't have 100% in this instance because we don't want to limit the amount of documents that's been donated. So we have a document counter, so people know how many people have donated towards that particular project. So this gives teachers in the development world who have nothing a unique way of voicing their request to the rest of the world. So if you imagine you have a PowerPoint and you spent ages creating it, and a teacher in the development world is requesting it, you're not going to think twice about, okay, pop it in her virtual pigeonhole, as that would be. So that's all well and good, problem solved, yeah? But what about when they have no mains connectivity or no internet connectivity? Meet Pod. Pod is our low-cost, durable, solar-powered projector that aims to display the donated documents to a classroom in the rural setting. So it's something that I myself have designed. These are my early, we call them ideation sketches in product design. These are my little scribbles, and then it goes from there, and we ended up at Pod. So the idea is that this document base would store a solar panel, wind up. So basically, it's a concept, but basically the idea is that where they don't have hardware, we can offer a really reliable, a low-cost solution to projecting these donated documents. What's very trendy at the minute in the development world is tablets, but the problem with that is it's one per child, which is cost intensive, because if you imagine you have a class full of 80 students, that means you need 80 tablets, whereas the projector is, I think, essential in a learning environment. So you have one piece of kit for a full class. And our aim is to create a smarter world and a brighter future. And now I normally leave it here, but I wanted to bring you back to this guy, the guy who is watching. So the reason I started mycloudcoach is because I didn't want to be the guy who just sits and watches. Thank you.